As the year draws to a close, large-scale wage demand protests are breaking out again across many regions in China. From Beijing to Guangxi, even party-run media outlets and state-owned enterprises have been exposed for failing to pay wages. Migrant workers blocked entrances, workers held infants in their arms while demanding pay, scenes that are heartbreaking. Meanwhile, amid the wave of foreign capital withdrawing from China, Japan's Canon shut down production in China but provided its workers with the most generous compensation. Shocking the entire Chinese internet, forming a stark contrast to Chinese companies that delay wages or refuse to compensate employees. At the same time, the Zhejiang Financial Assets Exchange Center's 20 billion yuan collapse triggered days of large-scale protests involving thousands of investors. Armed police were deployed, clashes erupted, and it became the largest mass protest after the Jiangyu incident. Please subscribe and like. With multiple conflicts erupting simultaneously, Chinese society is entering year-end in a state of escalating tension and instability. Wage demand protests reappear across China at year-end. As 2025 approaches its end, wage protests have resurfaced across mainland China since early December. In Beijing, workers from China Railway No. 6 Group demanded their back pay. At the Guangxi Daily newspaper, the official party newspaper of the Guangxi CCP Committee, migrant workers crowded the entrance demanding unpaid wages. At the Qinghai project site of the state-owned China Power Construction Group, workers brought infants wrapped in blankets while demanding compensation. Video footage shows dozens of migrant workers gathered outside the Guangxi Daily office building, with a long line of security guards blocking the entrance and preventing workers from entering. Instead of sending reporters to investigate the issue, the newspaper dispatched guards to stop them. The person filming the video complained, "Guangxi Daily owes migrant workers wages and not only refuses to pay, but also sends guards to block us from entering and solving the problem." Netizens mocked, "This is hilarious, even party media are defaulting on payments." At the Qinghai project of China Power Construction Nuclear Engineering Company, a female worker brought her baby while demanding back pay. The video spread widely online. Numerous viral videos show that the methods of demanding wages have become increasingly desperate: groups of workers kneeling together, workers threatening extreme actions, decoration workers smashing the interiors they had just built, and migrant workers using excavators to flip vehicles at construction sites or destroy their boss's car. One netizen wrote, "Workers bringing their babies to demand pay, this is the most heartbreaking and desperate image of all. They know that only by bringing the most vulnerable, most morally impactful presence, a child, can they draw attention. The children aren't here to witness their parents' hard work, they are here to witness the cruelty and indifference of this society." Others commented, "Why is life so hard for everyone this year, and, as the economy worsens, these incidents will only increase." With China's economic collapse, not only private companies but many state-owned enterprises and official institutions have fallen into debt crises. It has become increasingly difficult for migrant workers to secure their wages. According to research published by EN Network, under Freedom House, China saw a 45% year-on-year increase in protests in the third quarter of this year, reaching 1,392 incidents, with a sharp rise in rights defense actions involving threats of jumping from buildings. Some netizens bluntly stated, "Only by completely overthrowing the CCP and changing the system can China's social problems be fundamentally resolved." Most of China's disasters are systemic disasters. Whether suicide or murder, it is the inhumane CCP system that drives people to desperation. Mass protest in Hangzhou, armed police deployed after major financial collapse, largest demonstration since Jiangyu. The Zhejiang Financial Assets Exchange Center in Hangzhou collapsed under a 20 billion yuan financial product failure. Branding itself as a state-owned enterprise, the platform attracted massive national investment. For several consecutive days, investors from across the country gathered at the company headquarters to demand answers. On December 12, 13, and 14, desperate investors continued their protests. Multiple videos show crowds of thousands, with large numbers of security guards and armed police on site. Physical clashes erupted, many were pushed to the ground, and several individuals were taken away by authorities. Protesters shouted in anger, "Our money is gone, and now they won't even allow us a place to speak." Voices in the crowd yelled, "The police are beating people. Pay back the money. Zhejiang Financial Center, return our money." Analysts have suggested that the funds may have already been siphoned off. With information blocked and the truth concealed, tens of thousands of investors have likely been ruthlessly exploited. The immediate trigger of the collapse was the complete breakdown of the capital chain of its core financing entity, Xiangyuan Holdings. We previously produced a detailed episode analyzing this incident. You may refer to our prior program for more information. The incident continues to escalate. With over 10,000 affected investors, this marks the largest rights defense protest since the mass demonstration in Jiangyu, Sichuan. We will continue monitoring its developments. Canon leaves China. Employees thank the company for its civilized presence. As China's economy collapses, foreign companies withdrawing from China has become a trend. But one phenomenon continues to shock the Chinese public. Why are Chinese employees grateful to foreign enterprises? When Canon, China, President Ozawa Hideki prepared to leave the Zhongshan factory, employees spontaneously gathered to bid farewell, with tears flowing across the scene. Ozawa chose the lowest key departure possible, a late-night 10:40 p.m. flight back to Japan, no notice, no farewell email, carrying only a briefcase and a small suitcase. Yet, upon entering the airport departure hall, over 300 employees from Beijing, Shanghai, Suzhou, and elsewhere had gathered on their own. Some were young engineers, others were mid-level managers who had followed Ozawa for more than a decade. Even several retired employees arrived with their families to see him off. Security personnel initially tried to maintain order but were moved by the sincerity of the crowd. One witness recalled. They weren't causing trouble. Everyone was saying, "Please let us see him one last time, just 5 minutes." The crowd eventually broke through the invisible barrier, gathering outside the glass wall of the International Departure Hall. Ozawa's neatly pressed suit became wrinkled from the crowd. He repeatedly bowed, shook every extended hand, and continued saying, "Thank you. Take care." Some employees cried, shouting, "President, please come back and visit us." Ozawa nodded deeply, tears visible behind his glasses. The spontaneous farewell lasted nearly 20 minutes until flight staff were forced to issue repeated boarding reminders. The plane eventually departed 18 minutes late, later described by many Canon employees as the most worthwhile delay ever. Why did Canon employees rush to the airport? It begins with Canon's sole-funded factory in Zhongshan officially shutting down on November 21. The shock came afterward. Canon's compensation package for its Chinese employees was extraordinarily generous, astonishing the entire Chinese internet. Reports claimed Canon offered a 2.5N+1 compensation formula, where N equals years of service. For example, an employee with 10 years of service could receive 26 months of salary, far beyond China's legal minimum severance requirement. Videos showed employees expressing gratitude, "Thank you for bringing civilization here." In contrast, many Chinese companies refuse even the legally required N+1 severance, let alone voluntarily increasing compensation. Netizens complain that domestic employers only know how to exploit workers, saying companies pay only when workers threaten to jump off buildings. I wish I had worked for Canon. When will Canon return to China? I'll only buy Canon from now on. Many praised Canon as a conscience enterprise, calling its severance policy a benchmark for the industry. Interestingly, global media reported the emotional farewell scenes, but Chinese state media uniformly remained silent. Online anti-CCP sentiment surges, Douyin and Bilibili filled with "Rebellion Carnival." Recently on Douyin and Bilibili, netizens have been breaking through censorship by posting videos criticizing the CCP system. Many messages do not explicitly name the party or its leader but clearly express curses and anger toward the CCP. Comment sections have exploded with tens of thousands of people venting their fury, while censorship appears unable to keep up. Many netizens cheered. The Chinese people are truly awakening. Others said that many Chinese had awakened long ago, but their voices were suppressed. The current anti-CCP carnival may indicate a breakdown in censorship mechanisms. Some speculated. Reviewers are lying flat. The government has no money to hire enough censors. The censors themselves aren't getting paid, they're on strike. One major carnival zone on Douyin and Bilibili is videos related to Meng Wanzhou. In early videos, including her 2021 return to China and her 2024 New Year speech, comment sections have been flooded with sarcasm. Meng's 2021 arrival video, once filled with state-engineered "Welcome home, hero" comments, is now filled with netizens mocking. Canadian Ms. Meng visits China. After comedian Guo Digang was questioned by authorities, the comment sections of Meng's videos were flooded with the character, a homophone sarcastically referring to maggots, in a cesspit. For years, netizens have called CCP "little pinks" pink maggots. Recently, the character resurged in popularity because of Guo Digang. According to circulating online rumors, Guo Digang was summoned on December 5 due to certain performances at Beijing Exhibition Theater. Clips of his show went viral. One line was widely interpreted as mocking the CCP. "I am a maggot that has slept for 1,000 years. If I ever wake up, I will disgust the whole world." Meng Wanzhou is the daughter of Huawei founder Ren Zhengfei. In 2018, she was detained in Canada for violating U.S. sanctions on Iran. In 2021, the CCP used hostage diplomacy to bring her back and crafted her image as a national hero. But many netizens criticized her for having foreign citizenships and living a luxurious lifestyle, calling her and her father patriotic thieves. Huawei claims to be a private company, but investigations have exposed it as a party-controlled enterprise. With Huawei products repeatedly failing and the government suppressing victims, more Chinese citizens have come to understand the true nature of this so-called national brand. A society near breaking point. With the rapidly deteriorating economy and continuous waves of rights defense protests, China's social unrest and contradictions can no longer be concealed. From construction sites to investment markets, from corporations to online platforms, anxiety across all sectors is erupting in different forms.